Greetings, I'm Zachary Hepner. I'm pleased to share this Dvar Torah with you for Parashat Vetchanan. Let's discuss a non sequitur. Polonius says to Hamlet, "You call me Jephthah, my lord. I have a daughter that I love passing well." Hamlet replies, "Nay, that follows not." Hamlet calls Polonius Jephthah. Polonius believes that it's because both Polonius and Jephthah loved their daughters. Hamlet meant that both Jephthah and Polonius were ready to sacrifice their daughters. Hamlet replies to Polonius that his affirmation of his love to his daughter does not make any sense. That was an example of a non sequitur. Parashat Vetchanan has the most glaring non sequitur. That is the pink elephant that goes unnoticed. Moshe continues his valedictory speech. He announces Shema Yisrael 3 times. Firstly, to predict the consequences of the grandchildren who will become old-timers in the Holy Land when they abandoned the Almighty. The second Shema Yisrael is the prelude to the Decalogue, the 10 Commandments. The third Shema Yisrael is the one most familiar with us, that we recite at least twice a day, every day, followed by the legacy question we discuss in the Haggadah, Ki yishalcha bincha machar lemor, when your children ask you tomorrow, asking. However, tucked right between the first and the second Shema Yisrael is a lacuna of 8 psukim. Az yabdil Moshe shalosh arim be'ever hayarden. At that time, Moshe sets aside 3 cities of refuge in the East Bank. Their precise locations are illustrated in detail, with more non sequiturs inside this already non sequitur that we will not discuss at this time. Out of context. And of what significance? Are we suddenly interested in protecting accidental manslaughterers? Perhaps this distraction from the text was a Hail Mary, or a Hail Miriam on Moses' part. Vetchanan begins with Moshe beseeching the Almighty to let him to enter the Holy Land, which was Be'ever Hayarden, on the Transjordan from Moshe's perspective. Va'ereh ta'aretz hatova asher be'ever hayarden, that I will see the good land on the Transjordan. Rashi says that Moshe was beseeching God to let him into Israel exjudicially, since it had seemed the final verdict that Moshe was not pardoned from whatever sin he had done. God replies to Moshe, Rav lach, enough, never speak to me again about this matter. Then Moshe declares the first of the 3 Shema Yisraels with predictions of the future, and subsequently, out of context, Moshe builds 3 cities of refuge on the East Bank. But in Numbers 35, the Torah commands, Ki atem avrim et hayarden artza Canaan, ve'he'arim asher titenu sheish arei miklat. When you are passing the Jordan to Canaan, you should set up 6 cities of refuge. Note the discrepancy. Moshe sets up 3 cities, and he was not passing over the Jordan. Hear the subtlety. God had commanded Moshe not to ever speak again of this matter, but Moshe was still making a beeline for the goal without talking. In Yerushalmi Rosh Hashanah, there's a phrase, Mikevan shehitchil b'mitzvah omrim lo marak. Tamchuma uses the phrase in a more well-known manner. Hamatchil b'mitzvah omrim lo gemor. One who begins a mitzvah, we tell him, finish it. The law is codified. And incidentally, the reason why the individual who opens the ark when taking out the Torah is the same person who opens the ark when the Torah is returned. Sneaky Moshe, he was hopeful that by building 3 cities of refuge on the East Bank, God would entitle him to finish the job on the West Bank. The cities of refuge were hardly a non sequitur, but integrally part of Moshe's unsuccessful attempt to get a backstage pass to the West Bank. We conclude with the words of Rabbi Tarfon, Hu haya omer, lo alecha hamelacha nigmor, v'lo ata ben chorim libatel mimena, im lamata Torah harbe, notnim lo sachar harbe. It is not your duty to finish the work, but neither are you at liberty to neglect it. If you have studied much Torah, then you shall be given much reward. Moshe started this work, but someone else was going to finish the job, and Moshe had studied much Torah, and he shall be given much reward. Wishing you a Shabbat Shalom.